Well, the first thing I would want to address is the word al-Masih. Yeah, it can mean wipe, it can mean erase. Yeah, but the word sin, how have you included it into al-Masih?
Say again, how what?
Do you know the word sin?
Yes.
You say or erase of sin.
Yeah.
In the word al-Masih, how has that been incorporated?
Al-Masih, if we took it as erase,
Yeah.
then we
You are assuming that
Yeah.
it means about sin.
right.
What about if I were to turn around and say that actually he came when he talked about wipe, clean, rub, erase, erase all the things that had crept into Judaism after Musa alayhi salam, which were wrong.
Yes. Okay, maybe.
But if you look at the context of Isa alayhi salam, it actually answers it. As if we go to the Bible and where he says, you know what, you hypocrites, you pay a tithe of mint, annas, and come in and you omit the weightier matters of the law. Yeah, namely judgment, mercy, etc. That's what he said. He also said, you guys will not be good believers, unless your righteousness exceeds the righteousness of the scribes of the Pharisees. Basically what he is saying is there are many things which of old they said, but I'm saying this. So we all know that anybody who broke the law of the Sabbath, what happened? They were killed. But he broke it, and he explained to them, he said the Sabbath was made for humanity. Humanity was not made for the Sabbath. In other words, he was actually coming and removing some of the things that had crept in. Now, if you look at it from that perspective, then the evidence is showing that when the Messiah, the Al-Masih, the word is applied, it is actually him coming and cleansing all the things that had crept into the belief. In that context, there isn't a problem, and the evidence is actually substantiating the way we are interpreting it.
So you think he fulfilled the Masih part?
Guaranteed.
During his life?
Guaranteed, yes.
Not even the second.
No, because the first thing that you would have to need to address about this is, okay, what is the definition of the word al-Masih? Number one, what is the criteria which he was meant to fulfill to justify whether that question has been answered in the affirmative or not? So if I were to say, okay, Sheikh, tell me, according to the Quran, what is the definition of a Messiah? Al-Masih.
It's not.
There isn't. If you go to the Bible, what is the definition of Al-Masih?
Neither. Also.
Again, it's not. So whenever we are addressing it, we would have to necessarily address it on the basis of the evidence available, rather than speculating what it might have been.
What is, since it is coming for the Jews, what is the current Jews' understanding of the meaning of Al-Masih?
The current understanding is exactly that, the Savior, the one who is going to save them from everybody else. And that is why they do not consider, the majority of them do not consider Isa as having been the Messiah. Because he was meant to be the one who would come and destroy the enemies. And at that time, the enemies of the Jews were the Arabs. So when this man comes up, who claims to be a prophet sent from God, and he turned out to be from the Arabs, it became a major problem for them. But the definition itself, only the evidence will show whether he had fulfilled it or not. Now, primary rule number one, what did he come for? Isa alayhi salam. What did he come for? Was he just a prophet in a long line of prophets?
Well, in a sense, yes, he was, but he has a specific also mission.
Where do you take that from? That he had a specific mission.
If I take it from the Quran as my reference.
Let's take the Quran. What does it say?
It says when he was brought a baby and spoke as a child, he said his mission basically. To his people.
Exactly. And what does a prophet do when he's sent to his people?
Guide them to the right path.
He guides them back. Now, if he came to a people who was steeped in not only the truth, but in practice had incorporated other things which were not, what would he do?
Ask them to come back to the right path.
Right. So, if you had a tablecloth, a simplistic example I'm using, a tablecloth, and you had bits of dirt,
clean it. Okay.
You would cleanse it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is what he did. Now, in terms of the latter part of your question, where you say, okay, did he really fulfill it? Well, the question that I have to ask is, okay, what was the criteria that he was meant to fulfill? Because if the criteria isn't there, how do you know whether he has or he has not?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So it is illogical to think that the word Masih can only be applied when he comes on the day of resurrection. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's
because we know from Islamic at least
yes,
understanding.
The understanding is
ينتهي عمل ابن آدم بعد عند موته.
Exactly.
When he dies,
yes,
his deeds will end.
Absolutely, and that's what happens with anybody. Yeah, and at the end of the day, the logic is a very simple one. If I were to say, okay, Isa alayhi salam came, yeah, for the duration of time that the Creator had willed he was going to be on earth, he did what he was supposed to do. And it is actually inconsequential as to whether he completed or not. Why? Because there came a mighty messenger after him who completed it. So it doesn't, no problem either way. So when he said, Qala inni Abdullah, yeah, he is telling them first, I'm a servant of God and a messenger sent to his people. Yeah, and then he finishes it in Surah 19. He does finish it where he says, Assalamu alayya yawma yamut. Yeah, he tells exactly. So he completes it and he says, so peace is on me the day I was born, the day I die, the day that I'm going to die also. Everything is complete. So the most important thing, wallah brother, a lot of people, they say, the first thing is, okay, wait a minute, let's settle the foundation. What do you mean when you use this word? What did you mean when you use that word?
You have to understand what you're talking.
Exactly.
And I'm sure most, not only Muslims, Christians as well, when they say, he's the Messiah, they ask, what is the Messiah?
Exactly. They don't really know. Yeah. And alhamdulillah, usually when you look at the evidence, it usually dispels all these ideas sometimes we come up with.